You think you can crash my party? Touch my champagne with those dirty hands? Elizabeth Kensington's voice boomed across the ballroom. She snatched the glass from the black man's hand and grabbed her own wine. My company is closing a $500 million deal tonight, and I will not let some ghetto rat ruin it. She threw the wine. It hit his face, dripped down his neck, soaked into his white shirt. This suit? She laughed, flicking more drops at him. Probably stolen. That watch fake. You don't even know what real money looks like. The man wiped his face slowly. His voice stayed soft. Ma'am, please. I was invited. Invited? Elizabeth stepped closer, her finger jabbing at his chest. By who? Name one person here who would know trash like you. One name. Say it. Silence. 300 guests stared. Every phone pointed at them. Have you ever seen someone so confident they had no idea they were about to lose everything? 45 minutes earlier, Marcus Rivera had stepped out of a black Mercedes S-Class on North Michigan Avenue. The driver held the door. Cool October air hit Marcus's face as he straightened his Brioni suit jacket. The Millennium Tower rose 60 floors above him. Every window blazed with light. A red carpet stretched from the sidewalk to the gold-trimmed entrance. Pick me up at 11. James? Yes, sir. Marcus walked alone. His leather shoes clicked against the pavement. No entourage, no assistant, no security detail. Just him and an envelope in his inside pocket. The invitation was cream-colored heavy stock. Embossed gold lettering read, "An annual summit gala, Fortune 500 leaders." At the bottom, smaller text, hosted by Rivera Capital Partners, his company, his event, his $250,000 donation that made tonight possible. A valet rushed forward. Marcus waved him off with a polite smile. He checked his phone. One new email from his CFO, Laura Bennett. Subject line, Re Kensington Enterprises. Final contract review Monday, 9:20 a.m. The preview text showed the first line. All terms agreed. 500mm infrastructure investment ready for signature. Richard Kensington, Sr., confirmed attendance. Marcus slipped the phone back into his pocket. 5 years of negotiations, dozens of meetings, background checks on every Kensington executive. Due diligence reports stacked 3 FT high in his office. Everything pointed to Monday. Everything pointed to yes. He stepped through the gold doors into a marble lobby. Crystal chandeliers hung from a ceiling painted with Renaissance-style frescoes. A string quartet played near the elevators. The music echoed off stone walls. Good evening, sir. The woman at the registration desk smiled. Her name tag read Rebecca Walsh, event coordinator. Marcus Rivera. Rebecca's fingers flew across her tablet. Her eyes widened slightly. Mr. Rivera. Of course. You're our primary sponsor tonight. Just here to support a good cause. The Children's Hospital thanks you. She handed him a program. The main ballroom is on the 60th floor. Cocktail hour is underway. Marcus took the elevator alone. Soft jazz played through hidden speakers. The car rose smoothly, quickly. His reflection stared back from polished brass doors. 42 years old, black Latino, first-generation college graduate, built his venture capital firm from nothing 15 years ago. Now he controlled $3.2 billion in assets across tech, infrastructure, and real estate. He owned 40% of this building. The elevator dinged. Doors opened to reveal the ballroom. 300 guests filled the space. Men in tuxedos, women in gowns that cost more than cars. Servers weaved through the crowd with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. Everyone worked, smiled, made deals in hushed voices. Marcus recognized faces from Forbes covers. CEOs, investors, politicians, old money and new wealth mixing under chandeliers worth millions. Near the bar, a woman's laugh rose above the crowd, loud, commanding. Everyone around her turned to listen. Elizabeth Kensington. Marcus had seen her photo in the due diligence reports. 38. VP of Strategic Partnerships at Kensington Enterprises, daughter-in-law of the founder, known for closing deals and burning bridges in equal measure. She wore a cream-colored gown that probably cost $50,000. Diamonds at her throat, wrists, ears. Her blonde hair was pulled back tight, showing off her face. 5 people surrounded her, all white, all laughing at something she'd said. And then I told them. Elizabeth's voice carried across the room. If you can't afford our rates, maybe try a company that values diversity over quality. The group erupted in laughter. Marcus saw a few other guests shift uncomfortably. No one spoke up. He moved toward the bar, keeping his distance. A server offered champagne. Marcus took a glass. Marcus. Michael Chen pushed through the crowd. Asian American 40, Marcus's business partner for 10 years. Michael had arrived earlier to work the room. You made it. How's the traffic? Fine. Anything I should know? Michael glanced toward Elizabeth's group. His expression tightened. The Kensingtons are here. Richard Sr. left an hour ago. Said he wasn't feeling well. Elizabeth and Bradley are holding court. I saw she's been... Michael searched for the word. Herself. Made a comment earlier about affirmative action hires ruining corporate culture. Anyone pushed back? 3 people left. Everyone else pretended not to hear. Marcus nodded slowly. He'd read the reports. 12 former Kensington employees had filed complaints. 7 mentioned Elizabeth specifically. All complaints mysteriously disappeared before reaching HR. The company needed his money, $500 million to expand their infrastructure division. Without it, bankruptcy in 18 months. That gave him leverage. Enough leverage to demand changes. Real changes. Let's give it an hour, Marcus said. Then we can... Excuse me. A hand reached past him, grabbed his champagne glass. Marcus turned. Elizabeth Kensington stood there. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. I don't think you're supposed to have that. Marcus looked at Elizabeth's hand on his glass. Her nails were painted blood red. A diamond ring the size of a marble caught the light. I'm sorry? The champagne. Elizabeth's smile stayed frozen. It's for guests, not staff. Michael stepped forward. Elizabeth, this is... She held up one hand. Michael, I'm handling this. You can go back to networking with people who actually matter. Her friend circled closer. A man in his mid-40s, thick neck, expensive watch. Bradley Kensington, Elizabeth's husband, CFO of Kensington Enterprises. A woman with sharp cheekbones and sharper eyes. Jennifer Ashton, PR director, always within arm's reach of Elizabeth. 2 others Marcus didn't recognize, both watches real. Ma'am, I think there's been confusion, Marcus said quietly. I'm a guest here. Elizabeth laughed. The sound was harsh, brittle. A guest? Really? And who exactly invited you? The same organization that invited everyone here? Name them. Marcus stayed silent. He could end this in 5 words. Could pull out his invitation. Could call Rebecca Walsh over. Could make Elizabeth understand exactly who she was talking to. But something stopped him. Maybe curiosity. Maybe the desire to see how far she would actually go. That's what I thought. Elizabeth turned to her group. See, they don't even prepare these people with decent lies anymore. Bradley moved closer. He smelled like expensive cologne and whiskey. Look, friend, we're not trying to embarrass you, but this event is invitation only. Very exclusive. If you leave now quietly, we'll forget this happened. I appreciate the concern, Marcus said, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Jennifer pulled out her phone, started typing. I'm texting security. We've had problems with crashers before. Have you? Marcus asked. When was the last time? Silence. That's right, Elizabeth said, recovering quickly. Because we usually catch them at the door. You must have slipped through. Probably followed someone in. The crowd around them grew. Phones came out. Marcus saw at least 10 people recording. This would be online in minutes. "Your suit," Elizabeth said, circling him like a shark. "Brioni, please. I can spot a knockoff from across the room. That stitching is terrible." Marcus's suit had cost $8,000, custom-tailored in Milan. He'd picked it up 3 months ago during a business trip. "And that watch," Bradley pointed. "Is that supposed to be a Patek Philippe? The face is all wrong, all fonts off. The watch was real, inherited from Marcus's grandfather, worth more than Bradley's car." "Where did you get that invitation?" Elizabeth demanded. "Show it to me right now." Marcus reached into his jacket. His fingers touched the envelope. But before he could pull it out, Elizabeth snatched it from his hand. She tore it open, scanned the text. Her eyes narrowed. "This is fake. Obviously fake. Anyone can print something on cream paper. Let me see that." Bradley took the invitation, studied it. "The font looks right, but nothing." Elizabeth interrupted. "Look at him, Bradley. Does he look like he belongs at a 50,000 per seat event?" "What exactly am I supposed to look like?" Marcus asked. The question hung in the air. Elizabeth's mouth opened, closed. She knew the trap. "Professional," she finally said. "Established, someone with actual credentials. I have credentials? Like what? A community college degree? A participation trophy?" Jennifer laughed, covered her mouth. "Sorry, that was just accurate." Elizabeth finished. She turned to the growing crowd. "This is exactly what's wrong with society today. Standards mean nothing. Quality means nothing. We're supposed to just let anyone into our spaces because of some misguided sense of—" She stopped herself, but everyone knew what she'd almost said. Michael pushed through. "Elizabeth, you need to stop right now, or what? You'll report me." She laughed again. "Michael, your firm does what? 20 million a year. My family's company does 2 billion. I could buy your entire operation with pocket change. This isn't about money. Everything is about money. Money equals power equals access." Elizabeth grabbed a fresh wine glass from a passing server. "And this man has none of those things." Marcus watched her hand, watched the glass, knew what was coming next. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "please don't." "Don't what?" She stepped closer. The wine sloshed in the glass. "Don't expose fraud? Don't protect the integrity of an event my company helped sponsor?" "Your company helped sponsor?" Michael's voice rose. "Are you serious right now?" $50,000, Elizabeth said proudly. "We bought a table, unlike some people who probably found a torn ticket in the trash." The wine glass tilted. Marcus saw it happening in slow motion, saw the red liquid leave the glass, felt it hit his face, his neck, his shirt. It was cold. It smelled like cherries and oak. It soaked through his collar, down his chest. Elizabeth didn't stop. She poured until the glass was empty. Then she grabbed another from a nearby table and threw that, too. "Maybe now you'll learn where people like you actually belong. Serving drinks, not drinking them." The ballroom went silent. Even the string quartet stopped playing. Marcus stood there. Wine dripped from his chin. His $8,000 suit was ruined. His grandfather's watch had red droplets on the crystal face. He pulled out his handkerchief, wiped his face slowly, methodically. "You done?" he asked. Elizabeth's chest heaved. Her face was flushed. "I'm just getting started. Security." 2 men in dark suits pushed through the crowd. Private security built like linebackers. Name tags read, "Morrison Security Services." "This man," Elizabeth pointed at Marcus, "crashed this event. I want him removed. I want him arrested. I want his name blacklisted from every venue in Chicago." The lead security guard, Frank Morrison, approached carefully. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to come with me." "Of course," Marcus's voice stayed calm. I understand you're doing your job. Don't be so understanding, Elizabeth snapped. You should be apologizing, begging. You assaulted me with your presence. I assaulted you. You made me feel unsafe, threatened. I had every right to defend myself and my guests. Bradley stepped beside his wife. United front. Our lawyers will be involved. You can count on that. Your lawyers? Marcus smiled slightly, the first real emotion he'd shown. Interesting. What's funny? Elizabeth demanded. Nothing. Nothing at all. Marcus turned to Frank. Should we go to your office? This way, sir. As Frank led Marcus toward the exit, Elizabeth followed. Her voice echoed off the marble walls. Let everyone see this. Let everyone see what happens when you try to infiltrate spaces you don't belong in. Her friends followed. Jennifer filmed everything on her phone. This is going on our company socials, how Elizabeth Kensington protects corporate excellence. Great idea, Bradley said. Show the world we don't tolerate fraud. Marcus walked calmly between the security guards. His shoes squelched slightly. Wine dripped onto the floor with every step. Behind him, the whispers started. Did you see that? She just threw wine on him. That seemed excessive. Should we say something? But no one did. No one stepped forward. No one confronted Elizabeth. They just filmed and watched and posted. By the time Marcus reached the security office on the 59th floor, the video had 17,000 views. Elizabeth followed them into the small room. Bradley and Jennifer crowded in behind her. The space smelled like coffee and cleaning supplies. Frank sat at a desk with 2 computer monitors. Sir, I need to verify your identity. Of course. Marcus reached for his wallet. Don't trust whatever ID he shows you, Elizabeth said. Fake IDs are everywhere. I want you to call the police. Real police. Let them handle this. Frank looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, I need to follow protocol. I am the protocol. Elizabeth pulled out her phone. I'm texting my father-in-law right now. He owns 20% of this building. One call from him and you're unemployed. Do you understand? Frank's jaw tightened. He picked up his desk phone. Marcus sat in a plastic chair, wiped more wine from his face, and waited. This was about to get very interesting. The security office was cramped. Beige walls, flickering fluorescent lights, a water cooler in the corner that hummed too loudly. Frank Morrison sat at his desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard. His computer screen glowed blue in the dim room. Elizabeth paced behind him, her heels clicked against the tile floor. Click, 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 each step sharper than the last. Why is this taking so long? She demanded. Ma'am, I'm pulling up the guest list now. Forget the guest list, just call the police. Frank's eyes stayed on the screen. I need to verify. You need to do what I tell you. Elizabeth leaned over his shoulder. Her perfume was overwhelming, expensive, and cloying. Do you know who I am? Yes, ma'am. Then you know I can end your career with one phone call. Bradley stood by the door, blocking it, his arms crossed over his chest. Jennifer was on her phone, typing furiously, probably posting updates. Marcus sat in the plastic chair against the wall, his suit stuck to his skin. Wine had dried sticky on his neck. He looked completely calm, almost bored. Found it, Frank said quietly. Found what? Elizabeth snapped. His name on the VIP list. Frank's finger traced across the screen. Marcus Rivera, Table 1, primary sponsor. Silence, heavy, suffocating. Then Elizabeth laughed. Sharp and ugly. That's ridiculous. He obviously hacked your system. Ma'am, I don't care what you think. Elizabeth grabbed the back of Frank's chair, spun it around. That list is wrong. Corrupted. Falsified. Whatever you want to call it. Bradley moved closer to the screen, squinted. Rivera Capital Partners. Is that supposed to mean something? It's fake, Elizabeth said. A shell company, money laundering. This man is obviously a criminal. Would you like to see my identification? Marcus asked. His voice was quiet, patient, like he was talking to a child. Yes? Elizabeth held out her hand. Show me your fake ID so I can add forgery to the list of charges. Marcus pulled out his wallet, removed his driver's license, handed it to Elizabeth. She snatched it, studied it under the harsh light. Her eyes narrowed. Marcus Rivera, Chicago address. This proves nothing. IDs are easy to fake. It's a state-issued license, Marcus said, with stolen information. Elizabeth threw the ID onto Frank's desk. Run his name, check for warrants, criminal history, anything. Frank hesitated. Ma'am, now. Frank picked up his phone, dialed. Yeah, this is Morrison at Millennium Tower. Need a background check. Name is Marcus Rivera. Date of birth. He read from the license. The wait was painful. Elizabeth paced. Bradley checked his own phone. Jennifer kept filming everything. Marcus sat perfectly still, his hands folded in his lap, wine-stained but dignified. Nothing, Frank said, hanging up. No warrants, no criminal record. License is valid. Then dig deeper, Elizabeth insisted. Check his credit, his employment, his... Ma'am, I can't access that information. Then call someone who can. Elizabeth's voice cracked. This man crashed a private event, assaulted guests. I assaulted guests? Marcus's eyebrows raised slightly. Your presence was assault. Your existence in that space was threatening. Threatening how? Elizabeth's mouth opened, closed, her face flushed red. Bradley jumped in. You made my wife uncomfortable. That's enough. By standing near a bar, Marcus asked. By being somewhere you don't belong. And where do I belong? The question hung there. Nobody answered. Jennifer's phone buzzed. Once, twice, then constantly. Elizabeth, the video? It's really spreading. Good. Let people see we don't tolerate. It's not good. Jennifer turned her screen around. The comments, they're not on our side. Elizabeth grabbed the phone, scrolled. Her face went from red to white. This is disgusting. Someone had written, clear racism. She threw wine on him for no reason. Who is this woman? Someone find out where she works. The way she said, people like you made me sick. Elizabeth threw the phone back. Those people don't matter. They're nobodies. Trolls. It's got 200,000 views, Jennifer whispered. I don't care if it has 2 million. Elizabeth whirled on Frank. Call the police. Frank's hand moved to the phone slowly, reluctantly. Wait. Michael Chen appeared in the doorway. Behind him stood Rebecca Walsh, the event coordinator. Both looked worried. Michael, get out, Elizabeth said. This doesn't concern you. It absolutely concerns me. Michael held up his phone. Do you know what you've done? Protected the integrity of this event. You assaulted a guest on camera in front of 300 witnesses. I defended myself and others from an intruder. Rebecca stepped forward, her tablet clutched to her chest. Ms. Kensington, I've confirmed Mr. Rivera's identity. He's listed as our primary sponsor. His company donated $250,000 to tonight's charity. Elizabeth laughed, high-pitched. Manic. That's impossible. It's in our records. The wire transfer came through yesterday morning. Then your records are wrong. Ma'am, everyone stop. Elizabeth's voice echoed off the walls. I don't care about records or lists or donations. I know what I saw. This man doesn't belong here. Period. Based on what? Michael demanded. Based on... Elizabeth stopped, breathed hard through her nose. Based on my judgment, my experience, my instincts about who belongs in our world. Your world, Marcus said softly. Yes, my world. Elizabeth turned to him. A world you could never understand, Never access, never be part of, no matter how many fake companies you invent or IDs you forge. Bradley's phone rang. He looked at the screen. His face went pale. "It's Dad." "Don't answer it," Elizabeth said. "It's Dad, I have to. I said don't." But Bradley was already answering. "Hello, Dad. We're in the middle of—" He went silent, listened. His eyes widened. "No, that's not it. We didn't know. He said he was—" Elizabeth grabbed the phone. "Richard, Dad, listen. There's been a situation, an intruder at the gala. We handled it, but—" She stopped. The color drained from her face. Her hand started shaking. "That's not possible," she whispered. "You're wrong. He's lying. He has to be lying." Marcus watched her, still calm, still patient, still waiting. "Put him on speaker," Marcus said quietly. "Let everyone hear." Elizabeth's hand trembled. She looked at Bradley, Jennifer, at Frank, at Michael. Then she pressed the speaker button. Richard Kensington Sr.'s voice filled the room. Rough, angry, tired. "Elizabeth, is Marcus Rivera there? The man claiming to be Marcus Rivera?" "Yes." "There's no claiming about it. Put him on the phone now." Elizabeth's hand extended, shaking. The phone hovered between her and Marcus. Marcus took it, brought it close. "Good evening, Mr. Kensington." "Marcus." Richard's voice softened slightly. "I just got a call from my head of security. He's watching a video. Says my daughter-in-law threw wine on you." "That's correct." "Jesus Christ." A long pause, the sound of ice in a glass. "Are you hurt? My suit is ruined. My pride is intact. I'm so sorry. This is unacceptable." Elizabeth lunged for the phone. "Dad, he crashed the event. He's lying to you." Elizabeth. Richard's voice went cold. "Stop talking." "But—" "I said stop." She stepped back, her whole body rigid. "Marcus," Richard continued, "I'm heading back to the venue. Don't go anywhere. We need to talk about tonight, about Monday, about everything." "Monday?" Elizabeth's voice cracked. "Yes, Elizabeth. Monday, the day I was supposed to sign the biggest deal in company history with Marcus Rivera, CEO of Rivera Capital Partners, the man you just humiliated on camera in front of half of Chicago." The phone slipped from Marcus's hand, clattered on the desk. Elizabeth stared at him, really looked at him for the first time. "No," she whispered. "Yes," Marcus said simply. "You're not. You can't be." "I am." Bradley grabbed the desk edge. His knuckles went white. "The $500 million infrastructure deal, that's the one with you. With me." Jennifer stopped recording, lowered her phone. "Oh my God." Frank stood up from his desk. "Sir, I am so—" "You did your job," Marcus said. "Under duress. No apology necessary." Elizabeth backed against the wall. Her breathing came fast, shallow. "This isn't happening. This can't be happening." "It is," Michael said. "And it gets worse." He held up his phone. The screen showed a news alert. Chicago Tribune just picked up the story. "Billionaire investor assaulted at charity gala. Your name is in the headline, Elizabeth. Turn it off. Forbes is running it too. And Bloomberg." And I said, "Turn it off." But the phones kept buzzing. More alerts, more articles, more views. The video hit 500,000. Elizabeth slid down the wall, sat on the floor, her expensive gown pooled around her. "I didn't know," she whispered. "You didn't ask," Marcus said. "If you'd just told me—" "I shouldn't have had to." Bradley pulled out his own phone, started making calls. "I need our crisis PR team now." "Yes, I know it's Friday night." "I don't care. This is a Category 5 disaster." Jennifer was already backing towards the door. "I need to delete those posts. Oh God, I need to delete everything." "Too late," Michael said. "Screenshots are everywhere." A knock on the door. Everyone jumped. Rebecca poked her head in. The police are here. Someone called about trespassing." Frank closed his eyes. "That was me," Before I knew. Send them in, Marcus said. Elizabeth looked up from the floor. Mascara ran down her cheeks. You're pressing charges? That depends, Marcus said, on what happens in the next 5 minutes. 2 Chicago PD officers stepped into the already crowded room, and everything changed again. Officer Martinez stepped in first. Latina, mid-30s, tired eyes. Her partner, Officer Kim, followed. Korean-American, younger, hand near his radio. We got a call about trespassing, Martinez said. Elizabeth jumped up. Officers, thank God. This man crashed our event. He's been threatening guests. Arrest him immediately. Your name? Elizabeth Kensington, VP of Strategic Partnerships at Kensington Enterprises. Martinez turned to Marcus. And you? Marcus Rivera. Kim typed on his phone. His eyes widened. Rivera Capital Partners. You're the CEO? Yes. Ma'am, Rivera CP is registered with the SEC. $3.2 billion in assets. Elizabeth's face went white. That doesn't prove anything. He stole someone's identity. Martinez studied Marcus's ID. This looks legitimate. Of course it looks legitimate. That's how forgeries work. Kim held up his phone. Ma'am, there's a video. Shows you pouring wine on Mr. Rivera. That was self-defense. From what? Elizabeth's mouth opened, closed. No words came. Martinez looked at Marcus. Did you threaten anyone tonight, sir? No, ma'am. Did you touch anyone? No, ma'am. Martinez turned back to Elizabeth. But you threw wine on him. That's assault. He deserved it. Why? Silence. Bradley stepped forward. Officers, these events have standards, security protocols. We can't just let anyone... Anyone what? Kim's voice sharpened. Bradley stopped talking. Marcus's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, smiled slightly, answered on speaker. Marcus. Richard Kensington. Senior's voice filled the room. I'm in the lobby. Coming up. Is Elizabeth there? She is, sir. Good. We need to talk about what happens next. Elizabeth grabbed Bradley's arm. We need to leave now. The elevator dinged. Richard Kensington, Sr., walked in. 72. Silver hair, expensive suit hanging loose. He looked tired, sick, but his eyes burned with anger. Dad, Elizabeth started. Richard raised his hand, walked straight to Marcus, extended his other hand. Mr. Rivera, I am profoundly sorry. Marcus shook it. We'll discuss it. Richard turned to Elizabeth. You're suspended, effective immediately. What? You can't. I'm chairman of the board. I absolutely can. Over a misunderstanding. You assaulted the man holding our company's future on camera. This isn't a misunderstanding. It's a catastrophe. Bradley stepped between them. Sir, you're overreacting. PR can spin this. You're suspended too. What? Both of you. Pending investigation. Richard looked at Martinez. What charges is she facing? Assault? False police report? Possibly hate crime enhancement. Elizabeth's legs buckled. Bradley caught her. Hate crime, she whispered. Kim read from his phone. You said people like you. Questioned his belonging based on appearance, assumed theft and poverty. All on video. Jennifer spoke from the corner. I have more videos from before where Elizabeth made other comments. Shut up, Elizabeth hissed. Comments about what? Martinez asked. About diversity hires, quotas, people who don't belong. You're fired, Elizabeth spat. You can't fire anyone, Richard said quietly. You're suspended. Marcus pulled out his phone, turned the screen. A news headline, Rivera Capital Partners CEO assaulted at charity event. Video goes viral. Another, Kensington Enterprises exec caught in racist tirade. Another, Fortune 500 company faces backlash after VP attacks black investor. 1 million views and climbing. The deal, Elizabeth whispered. The 500 million, we can still... There is no deal, Marcus said. But we need it. Without it, you're bankrupt in 18 months. I know. I read the reports. Then you understand we're desperate. I was willing to invest. Was. You can't pull out over this. I can and I am. Richard aged 10 years in that moment. His shoulders sagged. Elizabeth turned to Martinez. Fine. Arrest me then. This is insane. All of this over one tiny mistake. Tiny. Marcus's voice went cold. You humiliated me publicly, called me trash, said people like me don't belong, threatened everyone who helped me, lied to the police. He stepped closer. Elizabeth pressed against the wall. And you call it tiny. Martinez put away her notepad. Ma'am, come to the station for questioning. Bring a lawyer. Am I under arrest? Not yet. Depends on Mr. Rivera's statement. Elizabeth looked around. At her husband, her father-in-law, Jennifer, the officers, Michael, Rebecca. All stared back with disgust. Pity, contempt. Finally, she looked at Marcus. What do you want? Justice? I'll apologize publicly. Whatever you want. Too late. It's never too late. It is when you've destroyed everything in one night. Richard left without looking at her. The room felt smaller, colder. Elizabeth's perfect world had collapsed, and Marcus Rivera held every piece. The security office felt like a tomb. Silent except for Elizabeth's breathing. Fast, shallow, panicked. She slid down the wall. Her designer gown crumpled around her. Mascara streaked her face in black rivers. Marcus, Mr. Rivera, please. Her voice cracked. I made a terrible mistake. Marcus stood by the window, watched the city lights below. You made several deliberate choices. I didn't know who you were. That's the problem. You didn't need to know. Bradley knelt beside his wife. Surely we can work this out. We're all professionals here. Marcus turned. His wine-stained suit caught the fluorescent light. Professional is the last word I'd use for either of you. Elizabeth grabbed the desk edge, pulled herself up. It was the stress, the pressure of tonight. These events are so intense, and I thought you... Thought what? Marcus's voice stayed level, calm, devastating. I thought you were a crasher. There have been issues. Name one. One crasher in this event's 15-year history. Silence. You can't, because there haven't been any. Marcus pulled his ruined handkerchief from his pocket, looked at the wine stains. You saw a black man and made assumptions. Be honest about that. That's not... Elizabeth stopped. Elizabeth started again. I acted on instinct to protect our family's interests. Your instinct was racism, Marcus said. Let's be clear. Martinez stepped forward. Mr. Rivera, we have enough for assault charges. The videos establish clear intent. Multiple witnesses confirm the statements. I want to press charges. Full extent. No. Elizabeth lurched forward. Please, I have children, a career. This will destroy everything. You should have thought about that before you poured wine on a stranger. Bradley stood, tried to salvage something. What about our company? 300 employees who had nothing to do with this. Your company needed my investment to survive, Marcus said. That was your father's problem to solve. He chose poorly when he put Elizabeth in a leadership position. She's family. And that's why your company is failing. Nepotism over competence. Frank Morrison approached quietly. Mr. Rivera, I need to apologize. I should have verified more thoroughly before calling the police. You were threatened with termination, Marcus said. Note that in your report. I want accountability at every level. Yes, sir. Rebecca Walsh spoke from the doorway. The gala is breaking up. Guests are asking questions. The news vans are outside. Let them ask, Marcus said. What should I tell people? The truth. That Elizabeth Kensington assaulted a guest. That she's been suspended. That Kensington Enterprises is under investigation. Elizabeth made a choking sound. You're going to let them destroy me on television? You destroyed yourself. They're just documenting it. Kim stepped aside to take a phone call. Came back looking grim. Ma'am, There's a reporter from Channel 7 asking for a statement. Says the video has 2 million views now. Bradley pulled out his phone. His face went gray. It's trending nationally. Kensington wine incident. Jennifer was still in the corner. She'd been quiet since offering up the videos. Now she spoke. Elizabeth, the company Twitter is exploding. Thousands of mentions, all negative. Delete them. I can't delete other people's tweets. Then make a statement. Say it was out of context. It wasn't out of context, Jennifer said quietly. Everyone saw what happened. Elizabeth whirled on her. You're supposed to be loyal. I'm supposed to be honest. You taught me that, before you forgot it yourself. Martinez checked her watch. Ma'am, we need to go. The station is expecting us. Can't we do this tomorrow? I need time to prepare. No, now. Bradley grabbed his phone. I'm calling our lawyers. Don't say anything without counsel. Smart advice, Kim said. You should probably get your own lawyer, Mr. Kensington. Your father mentioned you're suspended, too. The reality kept crashing down, wave after wave. Elizabeth looked at Marcus one last time. If you just told me who you were, if you just said something, I shouldn't have had to. Marcus's voice was quiet. Final. Every person deserves basic dignity, regardless of who they are or what they do. You failed that simple test. I was protecting people from what? A man drinking champagne? Marcus shook his head. You weren't protecting anyone. You were performing, showing off, asserting dominance over someone you thought couldn't fight back. That's not true. It's exactly true. And now the whole world sees it. Martinez guided Elizabeth toward the door. Let's go, ma'am. Elizabeth's heels clicked against the floor. Slower now, heavier. At the doorway, she turned back. The company, all those employees, their families, you're going to let them all suffer? I'm going to let your choices have consequences, Marcus said. There's a difference. The elevator doors closed on Elizabeth's tear-stained face. The security office felt bigger, suddenly, emptier. Michael Chen exhaled. That was intense. That was necessary, Marcus corrected. Rebecca approached carefully. Mr. Rivera, I'm so sorry. If there's anything the Foundation can do, not your fault. You tried to help. Marcus looked at his watch. Wine had seeped under the crystal. I should probably go clean up. The bathroom's down the hall, Frank offered. Actually, Marcus said, I think I'll head home. This suit's beyond saving. Anyway, he walked to the elevator. Michael followed. Behind them, the phones kept buzzing. The story kept spreading, and Elizabeth Kensington's world kept crumbling. Monday morning, 72 hours after the gala, Marcus sat in his corner office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Lake Michigan. Gray waves crashed against the shore. Rain streaked the glass. His legal team filled the conference table. 6 attorneys, 3 paralegals, laptops open, documents stacked high. Patricia Okoye led the team. Nigerian-American, 52, sharp as broken glass. She'd built her career destroying corporate discrimination. We have 17 corroborating witnesses, Patricia said. 4 separate video angles. All show premeditation. She clicked her remote. The conference room screen lit up. Elizabeth's face filled the frame. People like you don't belong here. Click. Another angle. Wine pouring in slow motion. Click. Elizabeth's finger jabbing Marcus's chest. Name one person who would know trash like you. The audio is crystal clear, Patricia continued. No ambiguity, no room for interpretation. Marcus's CFO, Laura Bennett, spoke next. The business impact is catastrophic for them. She pulled up a stock chart. Kensington Enterprises dropped 34% in 3 days, lost $800 million in market value. Good, Marcus said quietly. Laura continued. 3 Fortune 500 clients have paused contracts. 12 senior employees resigned. The board held an emergency meeting yesterday. What's Richard saying? Nothing publicly, but sources say he's exploring bankruptcy options. Michael Chen sat across from Marcus. The $500 million deal, dead, Marcus confirmed. I sent the termination letter Sunday night, cited ethical concerns and corporate culture incompatibility. Patricia pulled up another document. We're filing a civil suit today, $50 million. Claims include defamation, emotional distress, civil rights violations. That'll finish them, Michael said. That's the point. Marcus stood, walked to the window. This isn't about money. It's about a message. What message? Laura asked. That racism has consequences. Real, permanent, devastating consequences. Patricia nodded. The criminal case is moving forward. State's attorney called this morning. They're pursuing multiple charges. She listed them. Assault and battery. Video evidence is overwhelming. Filing false police report. Frank Morrison's testimony confirms Elizabeth lied. Hate crime enhancement. Multiple witnesses confirm racial motivation. Timeline, Marcus asked. Arraignment next week. Trial in 3 months. The prosecutor says it's the strongest case she's had in years. Michael pulled up his phone. Have you seen the media coverage? He scrolled through headlines. CNN. Viral video exposes corporate racism. New York Times. When privilege meets accountability. Forbes. How one act of discrimination cost a company $500 million. Wall Street Journal. The Kensington Scandal. A case study in corporate failure. 60 Minutes wants an interview, Michael said. Not yet, Marcus replied. Let the legal process play out first. The door opened. Marcus's assistant stepped in. Sir, there's someone here to see you. Says it's urgent. Who? Richard Kensington, Sr. The room went silent. Marcus considered. Send him in. Richard walked in slowly. He'd aged more in 3 days. His suit hung looser. His face was gray. He carried a briefcase that shook in his hand. Marcus, thank you for seeing me. Mr. Kensington. Richard sat without being asked. Set the briefcase on the table. I came to beg. That won't change anything. I know, but I have to try. Richard opened the briefcase, pulled out financial statements. The company is finished. Bankruptcy filing is drafted. We'll announce Thursday. I'm aware. 300 employees will lose their jobs. Most have families, mortgages, kids in college. And whose fault is that? Richard closed his eyes. Mine. I put Elizabeth in that position. I ignored the complaints, the warnings. I chose family loyalty over corporate responsibility. Yes, you did. I'm asking you to reconsider the investment. Not for Elizabeth. Not for me. For those 300 people who did nothing wrong. Marcus walked back to the window. Watched the rain. You're asking me to save a company with a rotten culture, to reward bad behavior, to send the message that racism is acceptable as long as you apologize afterward. I'm asking you to show mercy. Mercy? Marcus turned. Did Elizabeth show me mercy when she humiliated me in front of 300 people? When she called me trash? When she tried to have me arrested? Richard said nothing. No, she didn't. Because people like me don't get mercy in your world. We get wine thrown on us. We get profiled. We get assumed to be criminals or staff or anything except what we actually are. Patricia started packing up. Mr. Kensington, this meeting is over. But Richard pulled out another document. I have something else. He slid it across the table. Elizabeth's complete employment file. Every complaint ever filed against her. 14 in total. All buried by HR. All because she was family. Marcus picked it up, flipped through pages. Employee testimony, racial slurs, discriminatory hiring practices, promotion denials based on race and gender. Why are you showing me this? Marcus asked. Because it should go on record. Because people should know this wasn't isolated. It was systemic. Richard's voice cracked. I failed those employees. I failed my company. I failed you. Yes, you did. I'm stepping down as chairman, effective immediately. I'll cooperate fully with any investigation, criminal or civil. Marcus set down the file. That's a start. Will you consider dropping the civil suit? No. Will you reconsider the investment? No. Richard stood slowly. Then I guess we're done. We've been done since Friday night. Richard walked to the door, stopped. For what it's worth, I am truly sorry. Not because of the business, because of what she did to you as a human being. He left. Patricia waited 30 seconds. That was hard to watch. Good, Marcus said. 3 months passed like water through fingers. The trial happened in Cook County Criminal Court. Standing room only, media circus outside, cameras everywhere. The prosecution presented video evidence. 17 witnesses testified. The defense tried to claim misunderstanding, cultural differences, stress-induced poor judgment. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Judge Maria Castellano presiding. Latina, 60. No patience for excuses. This court has reviewed extensive evidence, she said. What we've seen is not a momentary lapse, but a pattern of behavior rooted in racial bias. Elizabeth stood, her lawyer beside her. She'd lost 20 lbs. Her hair had gone gray at the temples. The assault itself was egregious, the judge continued. The racial motivation inexcusable. The attempt to weaponize law enforcement against an innocent man. Dangerous. The courtroom held its breath. I sentence you to 18 months in county jail, 5 years probation following release, 500 hours of community service with civil rights organizations, mandatory bias training and counseling, $25,000 fine. Elizabeth's knees buckled. Her lawyer caught her. In addition, Judge Castellano said, the civil court has ruled in Mr. Rivera's favor. $15 million in damages, public apology, lifetime ban from corporate leadership positions. The gavel fell. Elizabeth was led away in handcuffs. Bradley Kensington tried separately, received probation and fines. His financial licenses were suspended. Elizabeth divorced him during the trial. Kensington Enterprises filed for bankruptcy 6 months after the gala. Assets were sold to a competitor. 300 people lost their jobs. 75 years of company history destroyed by one act of racism. The message was clear. Actions have consequences, and justice eventually prevails. 6 months after the trial, Marcus's office looked different now. Same windows, same view of Lake Michigan. But new photos lined the walls. A ribbon-cutting ceremony. Marcus surrounded by kids from the South Side. A legal clinic opening. Attorneys shaking hands with clients. A Time magazine cover. The CEO who changed corporate accountability. Marcus sat at his desk. Morning sun streamed through the windows. He reviewed the foundation's quarterly report. The Rivera Foundation for Economic Justice. $100 million from his personal wealth, 30 civil rights attorneys, free legal representation for discrimination victims, 6 months of operation, 127 cases accepted, 89 successful outcomes. People who couldn't fight back now had someone in their corner. His assistant knocked. Sir, the 60 Minutes crew is here. Send them in. The interview lasted 2 hours. They asked about the gala, about Elizabeth, about the video that changed everything. Do you regret attending that night? The interviewer asked. Marcus considered the question. No, what happened to me wasn't new. It was just filmed. What's the difference? Most people who face discrimination don't have cameras recording, don't have resources to fight, don't have the platform to force accountability. But you did. I did. And I had a responsibility to use it. The interviewer leaned forward. Some people say you destroyed Elizabeth Kensington's life over a glass of wine. Marcus's expression hardened. Elizabeth Kensington destroyed her own life. I just refused to let her destroy mine without consequences. What about the 300 Kensington employees who lost their jobs? That's on Richard Kensington, on the board that enabled Elizabeth for years in a culture that protected racism because it was profitable. You feel no guilt? I feel sad for those employees, but guilt? No, I didn't create that toxic culture. I just stopped funding it. The interview ended. The crew packed up, left. Marcus returned to the window, watched the city below. His phone buzzed. Text from Michael Chen. New case just came in. Black teacher fired after reporting discrimination. The school district is trying to bury it. Sound familiar? Marcus typed back. Take it. Full resources. This was the work now, not just venture capital, not just making money, making change. Corporate America had responded. 45 Fortune 500 companies revised their discrimination policies. The SEC proposed new accountability measures. Business schools taught the Kensington case as a warning. The Rivera effect, they called it. Mandatory bias training became industry standard. HR complaints were taken seriously. Cameras became protection instead of invasion. 200 similar lawsuits were filed in 6 months, all citing Rivera versus Kensington as precedent. The system was changing. Slowly, imperfectly, but changing. Marcus drove to the South Side that afternoon. A community center ribbon cutting. The new legal aid clinic. Kids ran around the parking lot. Parents lined up to speak with attorneys. Hope filled the air like oxygen. A little girl approached, maybe 8 years old, braids tied with pink ribbons. Are you Mr. Rivera? I am. My teacher showed us the video. The lady who was mean to you. Marcus knelt down. What did you think? I think you were brave. You didn't yell or fight. You just waited. Waiting is hard sometimes, but you won because you were patient. I won because I knew my truth and I knew justice would come. The girl smiled, ran back to her mother. Marcus stood, cut the ribbon. Cameras flashed. Later, he recorded a message for his social media. 5 million followers now. People who wanted to see accountability, who needed to believe change was possible. People ask me why I pursued this so hard, he said to the camera. Why I didn't just accept an apology and move on. The answer is simple. He paused. Let the words settle. Every day, people face discrimination without witnesses, without phones recording, without resources to fight back. This story isn't exceptional because it happened. It's exceptional because there were consequences. The question is, how many stories never get told? How many Elizabeths never face justice? And what are we going to do about it? He ended the recording, posted it. Within an hour, 50,000 shares, people commenting on their own stories, their own fights, their own small victories. The movement was bigger than him now. It belonged to everyone who'd ever been judged, dismissed, told they didn't belong. Marcus's final thought, sitting in his office as the sun set over Chicago. Justice isn't revenge. Justice is accountability. Justice is making sure the next person doesn't face what you faced. Justice is knowing that racism has a price, and sometimes that price is everything. The screen faded to black. White text appeared. If you've experienced discrimination, document it. If you witness it, record it. If you have power, use it. Subscribe for more stories of justice prevailing. Share this with someone who needs to see that accountability is possible. Comment below. Have you ever witnessed discrimination? Your story matters. Final frame. One last question in bold white letters. What would you have done if you were in that room? Would you have filmed, spoken up, walked away? Or would you have been Elizabeth? The screen went black. The story you heard today wasn't cleaned up. It was told exactly as it happened. At Black Voices Uncut, we believe that's the only way truth can live. If you felt something, hit like, comment your reaction, and subscribe. Every week, we bring you voices that refuse to be silenced.